first unit that our third graders work on is place value, rounding, addition, and subtraction. This probably sounds familiar because most units, most curriculums start with place value because place value is such an important foundation. I think what's important to note is that in the standards, there are no standards dedicated explicitly to place value. Something like write numbers in expanded form, or model numbers, or write numbers in words. Instead, place value is part of the tools used to round, or part of the tools used to add and subtract, or part of the tools used here to multiply. And so that's really important because it changes the way you're teaching place value. You're not just trying to get kids to answer some question on a test where it's like, what is the number in the tens place? Which never really seemed like it had any importance. Instead, we're trying to set them up so that they can do these three things. One of the reasons that place value can make such a difference is because we teach beyond the traditional algorithms for addition and subtraction. You're probably used to doing it this way, but you're not likely, if you're in a grocery store, needing to add 247 to 198 to get out a pencil and paper and write this down, and it's hard to keep track of in your head. Instead, often, people use invented algorithms, like this, where we think of 198 as close to 200, and then adjust. This is called compensation. In rounding, it's easy if we're just rounding to that first number, but it gets trickier if we're rounding to a number in the middle to understand kind of why we're doing it, and more than just look to the number to the right, and if it's 5 or higher, go up, and just a random trick. We really want our kids to understand so that they can write about it. So we teach them to set up their work with these number lines, and again, they really need to fundamentally understand place value. For example, that 247 is made up of 24 tens, so that when we say rounded to the nearest 10, we really mean that this is made up of 24 tens, 240. Things to keep in mind, in third grade, students only work up to the thousands, so the biggest number that they're going to see is 9,999. There's also a huge emphasis, in addition to writing and explaining, a huge emphasis placed on story problems, and because this is a really long unit, there's a test in the middle of the unit as well as a test.